Hey guys, in this tutorial we're creating a summer solstice themed wedding cake. We are starting with a hexagon shaped cake. I have a tutorial on this that I'll leave linked in the iCard. You don't need a hexagon shaped tin, just some foam core and a compass. For painting, I've got a mini ice cube tray that I can pop the separate colours in. I've just got some fuchsia sugar flare gel colour, a square flat tipped brush and water to thin it down. To lighten the shade of pink, you can add some white dust or paint. I'm using Colour Splash matte white paint. Then using your brush, start adding streaks all over the sides in various places. Next, grab some daffodil yellow sugar flare gel, just mixed with water. Fill in the areas between the fuchsia, lightly pulling your brush through the fuchsia sections will create an orange blend. Once it's all covered, add some of the white paint to the daffodil gel colour to paint on extra yellow areas, so you have a mixture of fuchsia, orange and yellow. Next up is a 6-inch cake. I'll leave a tutorial above for this too. Starting at the bottom edge, use fuchsia colour on your brush and pull up in a fast sweep motion. And again, fill in gaps and blend with the yellow gel colour. To extend the paint and blend it, you can use just water on your brush and sweep upwards. Do the same on the top tier, which is 4-inch. Whilst they dry, we can work on the topper. I've traced a sunburst shape onto greaseproof paper. The circle around it was just as a guide to how big I wanted it. For the support, draw a circle onto foam core that's smaller than your sunburst. The reason I haven't cut the sunburst from foam core is that it has sharp pointy edges that we want to keep, and covering the foam core in sugar paste would instead soften the edges. So we are cutting the burst from paste and backing it onto this circle for support and ease of inserting it into the cake. Roll out some white paste with Tylo added and mark in the outline of the sunburst. Then cut it out with a scalpel. Cut a flat edge across the bottom. This is going to sit on the cake. Make sure your circle sits inside and cut a flat bottom on that too. Leave that to set. For the silhouette, use white paste with Tylo added. Using the same sunburst, trace your couple inside, making sure they aren't too big. Trace and cut in the same way. When cutting detailed items which are small, I tend to cut a basic shape like the head and then go in with the Dresden tool to define noses and lips. Add them to some foam to dry a little and position them how you want them. Insert kebab sticks into the foam core circle to help in positioning it on the cake. Wet one side of it and stick it down firmly to the sunburst. Whilst that sets some more, we will stack the cake. I use bubble tea straws and have done for a few years. I prefer them over all the other dowels I've used. They're cheap, lightweight, strong, yet easy to cut. I use one more dowel in the cake above it, so I'll be placing a 6-inch cake onto 7 dowels. First, I place one down in the centre and mark it with an edible food pen. Next, I line up all my dowels against something straight, usually my smedger, and mark them all to the same height. This way I know all my dowels are the same length, rather than relying on the top of the cake for the other dowels, where it might just be slightly out due to thickness of paste or maybe an unexpected dip. I know the 6-inch cake will sit level as all the dowels are the same height. Cut your dowels just a millimetre below the line. This ensures your dowel will sit just below the surface of the sugar paste and the tiers will sit flush with each other. I stick my tiers together with ganache, but you can use melted chocolate, candy melts or royal icing. Another great thing about the straws is that the excess ganache just goes down the straws instead of squishing out from underneath the cake. Carefully lift your cake and place it into position before the ganache sets. Next goes on a 4-inch, so for this it's 5 straws. You should have one level cake. Next, cover the board. Yep, you can even use the toilet seat method for a hexagon. I'll link it above. For the gold topper, take some gold dust and turn it into a paint with lemon extract. Paint the entire sunburst and its edges. Next, stick on your silhouettes in the centre. Using the foam core on the back, you can easily push it into place. Next, you'll want some yellowy brown paste with Tylo added. You can use white if you like, as it will be painted, but this just helps mask any areas you're unable to paint rather than seeing bright white areas. I'm just passing it through the pasta machine so it's all one thickness, and then through the tagliatelle attachment to create strips. Even looks a bit like pasta now. Let your strips set ever so slightly so they aren't soft and bendy when handling. Then frame each side of the hexagon. Use a straight edge to push them into place. Once you have each side boxed, start adding in slanted pieces. There's no rule to this, just add strips in however you like. For the top tiers, we are adding more sunbursts. I traced out a design on greaseproof paper to help with positioning. Roll out some paste and cut a strip that's the same length as one of the sunburst spikes. Now with a large knife, chop out some spikes from that strip so they will all be the same length. Then measure and cut out the smaller spikes from the design. Using your template, place it on the cake and mark out the lines with the Dresden tool. This will really help with placement of all those spikes. Then add your spikes one by one with water. Next, go on the smaller spikes. Add sunbursts around the top 2 tiers. Last job to do now is paint every piece of paste in gold paint. Don't forget the edges of the cutouts too. I always get asked why I put my ribbon on last, and this is why. I don't know which colour will suit best until it's completely finished. If I had added the pink before finishing, I would have been annoyed that it was the wrong shade, and if I'd have added the orange, I would have been annoyed at how much it overpowered the design. So this way, I'm able to see that the gold complement it best, and you can add it to the board. That's it, all done, a sizzling colour palette perfect for a summer solstice wedding. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to keep up to date with new tutorials. Thanks guys, bye!